Oh, wrong one. Okay, there we go. I've got two screens that I'm working with. Howdy. Hi, welcome. Come on in. Enjoy yourself. Sit down. Why are you standing? Do you have one of those weird standing desks? Get rid of that, honey. That's not actually helpful. Welcome. Come on in. We're ranking magical girl mascots today. Yippee! Yahoo! I needed a sip of water. Yippee! There's not too many of them, so, we'll be able to, get through this, relatively quickly, but that just means it gives us plenty of time to jabberjaw about all the different mascots. Why do people think standing is the future? So, technically, sitting at your desk for extended periods of time is also not particularly great for you. But like standing just has different problems that it comes with. There's a reason why most workplaces that make you stand are like mandated, like cashiers for example, are mandated to have those like rubber mats for you to stand on to make sure you don't fuck yourself up. And people don't think about that when they get a standing desk, but irrelevant. So, let's get started. I'll admit, I don't know all of these characters particularly well. You know, I've only seen so many magical girl shows. And I googled the mascots for, like, all the big ones. Not all of them had a mascot. I was surprised I couldn't find a mascot for, like, Magical Girl Sight. I even tried, and they couldn't find a mascot for that one. Little bonus shout out to Critter and Precure, because it was Critter's video about Precure, mentioning Mepple and Mipple over here, that had me go, they're cute. I should talk about mascots. So, yippee. So yeah, I'm ranking them based on, in case you can't read the tiers, I've got perfect and trustworthy, cute, boring to be honest, clearly evil, and just ugly. So that's kind of what we're doing. It's design, but also that design lends itself well to the discussion of mascots can be evil, thanks to a certain somebody setting that trend. Howdy, howdy, welcome, come on in. Good to see so many people excited and ready. So I guess, let's go in the order let's start with the ones that I'm a little bit more familiar with. How about that? And I think we gotta start with what I think is truly the cream of the crop, which is Caraberos. I'm gonna slap him right up there immediately. There is no question about Caraberos. Caraberos is the perfect magical mascot design. You may have noticed that across my, becoming a magical girl in Pokemon series, I always use Caro as like a basis for mascotifying the legendary you get. Like I did that with both Zacian and more clearly with Miraidon. And I was gonna do it with Mew, but I don't get Mew, and I don't know, it felt impossible to like shoehorn that in for red version. And Mew's basically already a mascot anyway. You don't even have to alter Mew. He does give Beanie Baby vibes, and he's Sakura carries him around and he pretends to be a toy. That's how she gets away with having her mascot with her all the time. He just, goes all limp and pretends to be a toy, and then people walk away and he's like, oh my gosh, wow, here's something important that I need to say. He looks perfect. I adore Caro, and I know Caraberos also has a sick. Oh, I've got another screen. I got another screen. We can actually take. Hi, I'm closer over here. Oh, and you guys are hidden behind me. Hang on, let me scoot you guys over. Wherever the fuck you are. There you are. You can be a little bit closer to Doug. There you go. But yeah, I've got. Oh no, I just numbered them. I didn't put them by name. Are you Caro? No. Are you? No. Hang on. Let me find Caraberos. I'm a professional streamer, just in case you couldn't tell. Hang on, they're by number. That's why I'm losing track. Alright. Yeah, very talkative toy. Now you can see him so clearly. Oh wow, what a perfect guy. And he's so simple. And he's like easy to draw, easy to understand, very readable. The wingalings and a fluffy tail make him feel special. without him becoming too much. You know what I'm saying? And he's got a cool fight form, which obviously gives him bonus points. So yeah, Caro is my number one. There's not a single question about it. I love Caraberos. So he's number one. It's just the truth of it all. But let's move on to the next one. Is he a mouse or a cat? He is a lion. Tiger lion guy. So cat. Not a bear, no. And you'd think with the name Caraberos, which is Cerberus. That's... You'd think he'd be a dog. But yeah, he's like a liger. Yeah, you can Google him and find the big cool version of him. Was one of those mascots a pink wombat? Yeah, we'll get to that. But let's shift over to Cubey next. Which I believe was this one. Nope. This one. Nope. That one. There we go. I found him. Cubey! So, Cubey is the one that I'm technically the most familiar with. While Caraberos is my favorite, I adore Madoka Magica, obviously. Caro is perfect, but Cubey is the one that I'm the most familiar with. And I'll be honest, Cubey's design is brilliant. Because he looks so cute and special, kind of like Caro, a little extra special, like this isn't just a normal little critter kind of a deal. He doesn't pass as just a cat. But, like, he's got the fancy, like, ringlets around his extra ear tuffies, and a pretty dang cute face. It's not until you learn more about Caro. I said Carabero so many times. Now it's stuck in my brain. Excalibur, you can calm down. We get it. But, it's not until you learn about Cubey that you realize how intimidating his eyes are. His unblinking eyes. His permanent, round, red eyes. They're aggressive. And there's actually a point in the anime that gets edited for the Blu-ray version. Where... basically, when it gets really revealed, that, Cubey is the bad guy, for better or worse. And in the original version, his eyes, like, squint. You know, they, like... But in the Blu-ray version, they keep them round, and I think that was the smarter option. Yeah, his mouth that never opens or moves, except for when he eats the other one. So, like, he does kind of give Digimon Prevolution. It's a really smart design, I gotta be honest. It's, not trustworthy, but only once you know. So I am gonna put him in cute. Cubey, like it or not, like, he's a bad guy. But he is cute. He's not clearly evil. And that's the thing that makes him so good. That's what gives him a leg over something like Fav, who we will move on to next. Now I have to find Fav. That's not it. That's not it. Hang on. No. There we go. Fav. Fav is for Magical Girl Raising Project. And I argue Fav looks too clearly like a bad guy. Like, and it's kind of on the back of the box anyway, that Magical Girl Raising Project is dark and kind of edgy. But, and so it's not like it's really a secret. And Fav is actually not, like, an overt, you know, bad guy like Cubey, you know? Fav knows that the magical girls will be doing their death game kind of a deal, but he's not nearly as, at least in the, like, the anime in the first book that it's adapting, he doesn't come across as, like, pulling the strings like Cubey, but he does look clearly like, how do we make one of these magical girl mascots and have it look a little evil? But, like, oh, can you trust it? It's half black and half white. What even is that? Like, what is it? Yeah, Fav kind of just floats. He works better when presented as, like, just like a video game asset, effectively. He's usually, like, in their phones, so we don't have to worry about him looking like an animal, but really he just kind of looks like somebody with a crazy ponytail. You know what I'm saying? Bro got that Esper death stare. Monokuma, yeah. I had wanted to mention that he looked like, I guess his name's Monokuma. I would have called him, Danganronpa Bear. Yeah, he's giving, Orion Plume makes a great point. He does kind of look like a low-level RPG enemy, which may have been the point, but my point is that he looks too clearly evil. Like, it's just clearly evil. It's just the truth. Are there mascots that look clearly evil but are actually nice, cute, and not evil? I guess we'll have to figure that out as we go. Let's continue forward with the ones that I know best with, let's go with Luna. Sailor Moon's beloved mascot, Luna. Hang on, I gotta find her. In my, I don't know why I chose to do it this way. I feel so stupid. And then Kasha, and then Luna. Nope, that's Caraberos. Luna. Where did Luna go? Did I not upload Luna? Oh no. Hang on. Hang on, I'm missing her. Let me go grab Luna's PNG really quick. Nope, not that. Professional. Professional streamer. Professional streamer Twiins Inc. I've got 500 followers, and I do not deserve that. Okay, there she is. Okay, so here's Luna. Wow, what a surprise, she's just a black cat, but with a moon. Question, is your Grim Magic mascot a shapeshifter? I swear I've seen him as different animals, but I could be misremembering. That's a great question, Overhypen. I actually thought about having Brooder in this, but I also only have one picture of Brooder in full color. So then I forgot. So that didn't happen. Not, well, how do I say this? Kind of. Yes. You have seen Brooder look like a multitude of different animals. Brooder looks like an animal that is completely white but with yellow blank eyes. And that animal allocates to what the story is. So for example, Brooder is a shittily drawn, because I'm not good at drawing birds, dove to accompany Cinderella, because in Cinderella's story, it's doves that end up bringing her dress and stuff so she can go to the ball. And then for, like, example, in the Goose Girl, he looks like a goose. So, which should be pretty obvious. So, yeah. The answer is yes, asterisk, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. But you'll learn more about that in a future book. So there you go. I like that Luna's a black cat. I don't know why. It's very simple. It's very nice. And no one ever questions Luna's moon on her. Like, they're just like, Sailor Moon, like, Usagi, and your cat. What a cute little cat. And then, like, they just accept it. So, like, she's pretty damn iconic, and it's brilliant because it's literally just a black cat with a moon on its forehead. But you see a black cat with a moon on its forehead, and you're like, that's Luna. That is Luna, that's what she is. But, I will say, she is just a black cat with a moon on her forehead. And so, unfortunately, I think she's gotta go into boring, to be honest, because she kind of is. She doesn't feel super special or magical, even though I think she's got a human form. I think. Doesn't Sailor Moon have 2 magical cat mascots? Technically, no. I did think about including Artemis, who is the white cat that you're thinking of. Artemis, however, is, officially Sailor Venus's mascot. And at the end of the day, they're just 2 different cats, you know, like, Artemis would be in the same tier as Luna. He's just a palette swap of her, really. So, that's why I opted out of including him, but yeah, technically, the group does have 2, but I opted against including him for those reasons. Great question, though. Good memory. To be fair, my family has a cat that has a diamond mark on her forehead. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, cats can just have crazy markings on them. So it's not even that out of the question that everyone's just like, OMG, your cat's so cute. And they just don't question it at all. I know, I do like the 90s anime eyes that she's got as well. Oh my gosh, it's Messiah.
Heading out. Happy magical girl may to all, and to all a good night.
A happy magical girl may to all, and to all a good night. Thank you, Messiah. What a sweetie pie. May you have magical dreams to keep you well rested. Never watched Sailor Moon, but I remember seeing clips of a dub, and Luna had, like, a British accent. Yeah, she did. Which, I don't know why they chose that, but I'm not mad about it. It made her feel alien, like, in that she just clearly, like, she was different from the girls. It also made her feel smart as well, which is pretty nifty. Hello, Mira. Welcome. We're talking about magical mascots. We just finished ranking Luna into boring, to be honest. And let's move on to Mokana. We're doing all the ones that I know first. Because it's my stream. But also, I failed to label everything efficiently in my order here. So, it takes me a second to, there we go, to find whichever one we're discussing. Because I'm very smart. Mokana! So, Mokana, it's complicated with Ray Earth. It's complicated with a lot of clamp stuff. So, Mokana is technically the mascot for Ray Earth. Arguably, you could say it's the little wizard boy, whose name I forget right now, who actually initiates them into their magicalness. Mokana is the one that accompanies them throughout the story and like gives them food, gives them transportation, helps to upgrade all their weapons. Mokana plays a bigger role, so that's why Mokana counts. I always thought this one looked like Chansey. It does look quite a bit like Chansey. Very, like, it's Pokemon meets Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of perfectly mushes those two aesthetics together. If I do say so myself. I love Mokana's design. It's incredibly smart. And there's a black Mokana, who I don't know what its name is, but it also looks really great. The black Mokana plays a bigger role in X-Holic / Tsubasa Chronicles, and I've only read most of X-Holic, and I haven't read any of Tsubasa Chronicles, so we're not talking about the black one. We're just talking about this Mokana and how he relates to Ray Earth, because the Clamp universe is actually incredibly complicated. But yeah, I mean, you know, he's a cutie pie. There's really no notes. There's no question about how good he is, even though I kind of hate Mokana. He's kind of a main point as to why I don't like the actual conclusion to the manga. He's not a bad guy, but he just kind of feels like a crummy Deus Ex Machina at the end. You know what I'm saying? He does, for the most part, bring joy. I like this little guy. I want a Mokana plush, and you know, oh my gosh, a Squishmallow? You guys know about those, right? Surely, you must. You're all younger and smarter than me. Those Squishmallow toys. I really want one. Allison's got like 3, and I just haven't seen one of anything I want, but I like their texture. They're very squishy, hence the name. And a Squishmallow of Mokana would be so perfect. That would be amazing. I have like 50. I bet they make Pokemon ones. I bet I could get a Pokemon one that I'd like. But yeah, Mokana, I think Mokana, perfect and trustworthy. There's no doubt in my mind that that's a good guy. And time for the final, two more, that I am familiar with, and we'll start with the one that's slightly more modern and current. Nope, not that one. Hang on. No, not Caro. Not you. Where did you go? How is this not in the same order? Where did Hoshi go? I know I have Hoshi. I know we're doing Hoshi next, in case you couldn't figure it out. There we go, I found him, okay. I have a Clefairy one, I really want a Fuecoco one. Fuecoco, that would be a good one. I know, I'm incredibly professional. Listen, you like my content because it's scuffed. If you wanted professional, clean content, you'd watch someone like Captain Kid or something, you know? Who is that man? We'll get to him. We're gonna talk about Hoshi first. So, Hoshi is from Pretty Pretty Please, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. And so we don't know very much about Hoshi at all, since Pretty Pretty Please is just a pilot. And I haven't, like, looked into any more information if, Kanekon Smith has said any more kind of deep lore to look for, but, I don't think we have any. So, what we know about Hoshi is incredibly limited. And I'm really torn, because Hoshi looks incredibly cute. Oh my god. Look at that fucking face! Look at him! The aesthetic's also on point. You know, magical wingalings, but also the star, like this is so fucking cute. This is really, really cute. I love Hoshi. I guess I should be saying they. But, yeah, I realized this the other day. Hoshi looks like the little star guy from Disney's Wish. You know what I'm saying? You know? Am I wrong? Which isn't a bad thing. It does look like a vehicle. Hoshi's very Kirby coded. So I like Hoshi, but because of what happens in Pretty Pretty Please, like how he talks with Aika and the fact that Aika doesn't want to be a magical girl anymore, I like, there's a part of me that's like, I don't know if I could trust that guy. Like, I'm worried that since Pretty Pretty Please is also so, like, aware of the tropes of the genre, it's so hard to be like, well, obviously he's gonna be evil, but it's like, but maybe they think he's, oh, obviously, maybe they're like, and everyone will think he's obviously gonna be evil, but he's not. So, yeah, Hoshi might need their very own tier. I might need to make a Hoshi tier. Like I don't know if I can trust you tier. And we're gonna do that. Here, I'll smooch back on over so you can take in Hoshi while I fiddle around with the tier list. You know how I can struggle with it. Let's add a tier. We're gonna make it purple. And let me just name it. Don't know if I can trust you. Parentheses, but good. like, Hoshi do look good. Just don't know if I can trust you. Alright, I'll bring it back over to where we are. See, wow, I've added the tier under boring, to be honest. So we'll just smudge Hoshi right there. Imagine Hoshi becomes Zero from Kirby 64 in the finale. It's like when Kirby Forgotten Land came out and people didn't know if the Q companion could be trusted or not. Exactly! I don't know, we've been burned so many times before. To like their ominous widow's peak. To me, it always reads as like a humongous unibrow, which, you know, I like both. It could be both. So, great. This is really excellent. And so, let's finally get to the last one that I know, which, is easy to find as well, because it's the last one. It's Wombat! From Cute Earth High Defense Club Love. Yippee. Yippee. What a funny guy. So, Wombat is, an ugly fucking wombat. Which, I'll say, wombats are friend-shaped, but, you know, he's just a pink wombat with a heart stamped onto him. He's meant to look not quite like the right kind of magical mascot. Cute High Earth Defense Club Love is also incredibly funny. So the fact that he doesn't look like a traditional mascot is the joke. He's also got an old man voice. So he's like, boys, you need to become magical girls. And it's like, what the fuck? You know, in a world where everyone else on this tier, you know, they all got cute little voices because they're pretty women with British accents. And then Wombat's just like, you can be magical boys and save the magical world. So, like, kind of looks like a koala to me. They are similar critters. They're very close to each other genetically, so that makes sense. But yeah, Wombat is a tough one to rank because he's not ugly, but he's also just not right. Doesn't the Wombat use the dead body of an old man as a human mech? Yes, I should mention that. So their teacher dies and he accidentally tripped on Wombat, and that was a hilarious moment too. Teacher trips on Wombat and then falls down the stairs, and Wombat looks down the stairs all sad, and then it cuts to teacher and blood is pooling out of his body like way too quickly. And the teacher has to carry Wombat around, and that's just, the students just can't question it because it's like teacher's being weird. But he has to, because if Wombat gets too far away from him for too long, then teacher starts decomposing. So that is an important thing to remember, I think, with Wombat, is that he is accompanied by teacher. I think I'm gonna put him into perfect and trustworthy. Cause where else do you put, he is? Like, it's like traditional? No. Perfect? Yes. Yeah, it really worked out because the boys were avoiding him, and so he's like, I need to get closer to this magical boys, and then he accidentally did a manslaughter. Wow. I love him. So now we can get into the ones. I haven't watched any of these shows, so I'm way less familiar with any of them. So let's schmooge back on over to this page, and we'll just start at the beginning with, I think this is Dodo. I think that was her name. I have it written down, but at this point. This is from Magical Do-Re-Mi. This is what their magical mascots, and I think they actually technically have more than just one, but this was the one that came up when I googled Magical Do-Re-Mi mascot. She is cute. She's a little, she reeks of that, like, 90s toy bullshit, where it's like, there's too many little parts. You can guarantee she'd be itsy bitsy, and like parts would break off of her so easily. But a little cutie pie. So I don't know shit diddly about her. I'm fairly certain she's like hyperbolically microscopic. Like, she's tiny. So I don't know how she stays hidden. How much she's involved with the magical kids. Like, I don't know how, like, is she like Luna, where she's basically a constant companion, or what? I've seen a picture of her as a full-blown person, so I don't know. Reminds me of my notebook doodles in middle school, and I mean that in a good way. She does look very accessible for younglings to draw, which I think is important, because Do-Re-Mi is aimed at a younger audience. So giving the magical mascot, like, she's approachable, cute, she's giving fairy, and easy for littlies to be able to draw. I think perfect? No. I think her proportions are kind of whack, but she's very cute. I like her. And, you know, I'll put her above Cube. She deserves that. And you know what? We'll perfect. Alright. But yeah, cute. Absolutely cute. The only thing really keeping her out of perfect and trustworthy is, like I said, her proportions are kind of whack, and, you know, it prompted Dill Pickle to say she's sperm shaped, which, brother, if that's what yours looks like, you gotta go see a doctor. But her buggy appearance can be theoretically off-putting to somebody. I could see a world where someone's like, I think they look like bugs. Ew. But yeah, Dodo's a cutie. I like her, and that's the only thing that matters. Because, okay, let's talk about this guy. He has a name. Let me actually look at what his name was, because I can't just keep calling him the man. Drosselmeyer. Okay, so Drosselmeyer is the closest thing that Princess Tutu has to a mascot. He is the one that gave a duck a magical MacGuffin that lets said duck turn into our beloved Princess Tutu. So, he's a bit of an outlier. And I don't get him. That's just a One Piece character. He does look like a One Piece character. And I gotta agree, Overhypen. He looks evil, doesn't he? He looks like a bad guy. That's not a trustworthy face. That's the face of a villain. Why does he smile like that? What's up with his eyes? What's all this bullshit going on around his eyes? It looks like I drew him, you know? The strangers I was told not to talk to. He is really giving One Piece. Well, I hate his color palette as well. Even outside of his untrustworthiness, like, he looks bad. And it feels so deliberate, especially his beard shape. But if this is a reference to something, it's beyond me. I hate how many colors he has, and also his shoes are so ugly. He is giving Aku Aku. I'm gonna put him in just ugly. 'Cause I don't think he's clearly evil. I don't trust him. Like, I wouldn't trust him. But I think it's just because he's so much. Like, I think our old man prejudices, with eye bags, are getting in our way. And so, like, if it was this exact same design but a handsome man, this outfit would still be ugly. So I think I simply must put him into just ugly. I imagine he turned Duck into a human as a curse, but horribly failed. See, that's the thing. From what I understand, he's actually just a good guy. Like, he's just like, oh, I'll help you, little duck. I'm such a good man. But yeah, what a shame. Sorry, fucking Decimord or whatever your name was. Certainly unique, I'll give him that. Let's see, we've already done 5. Okay, oh, this was another one. I think its name is fucking Gyuki? Yeah, Gyuki. So, now, this is one of the mascots from Yuki Yuna is a Hero. She has 2. We've got Gyuki and Sasha, and you know what? Or Zasha, actually, and we'll just have them both on screen. So we've got Gyuki, the cow, and Zasha, the cat. Sorry, Doug, you're gonna be covered for a little bit here. This fascinated me, because I don't know much of anything about Yuki Yuna as a Hero, but, so I googled mascot, and I was looking at the wiki, and this is how I learned that Yuki Yuna is a hero. Like, every single girl has 2 mascots, and they all look unique. Like, the creator of Yuki Yuna must secretly really want to work on Pokemon or Yokai Watch or something like that. Because there's so many of these little guys, and they're all unique, they're all distinct, and so that's a video in itself, as eventually I could absolutely just discuss all of Yuki Yuna's like, because there were so many. There's like actually like 60 something. Can I spoil Princess Tutu to explain Drosselmeyer's character? Please do, Pyra. Please do. For anyone who does not want spoilers for Princess Tutu, come back when you see me rank these two. When you see these two on the tier list. But while you type that out, Pyra, I will start discussing Yuki and Zasha, and so I'm torn. Okay, so Zasha, which is the cat, that's not a magical girl mascot. That's a yokai. That is a yokai watch yokai. That is a fakeamon. You know, a fan-made Pokemon to the nth degree. That's a starter. That's the fire starter of someone's fake region. How we doing? We're doing great. Currently talking about Yuki Yuna's mascots. I have also ranked Karo, Wombat, Mokina, Dodo, Kyubey, Luna, Hoshi, Fav, and Drosselmeyer. So, yeah, and Pyra is going to spoil Princess Tutu to explain Drosselmeyer's character, which I eagerly anticipate. But in the meantime, we're discussing Yuki and Zasha. And yeah, Zasha's just, like... Zasha's just not a mascot. I like them, but it's just, and so where do you even put something like Zasha? Don't know if I can trust you. I mean, I guess they're not boring. Yeah, I mean, they're cute. I will put Zasha in cute, but it's just not a magical girl mascot. and that's so hard to specify. Like, well, what makes that any different from, like, all the others? And it's like, I don't know, it's got too much going on. Thought it had a tambourine. It's giving tambourine. I keep feeling that, too. It does kind of look like a Neopet. Wow, it is giving Aisha. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yuki, I like a whole lot more. The fact that it's a cow is... interesting. I like cows, sure. Cute little fairy cow. I like that. I like its little empty eyes. that does a lot to add to, I don't know. This, I'm sure they have a great dynamic. I think it's a lot of Zasha trying to eat the cow. Question mark. I was in waiting mode for yesterday's stream and forgot to turn my brain on again and missed it. Damn. Drosselmeyer is one of the main villains of the show, basically. He has the power to make anything he writes real, and he terrorized the local town while alive, so they cut off his hands to stop him. But he continued to write using his own blood, oh my god, and so his spirit lived on. He trapped the town in a pocket dimension in order to finish writing his perfect tragedy? Wow! Okay, this changes everything. This means Drosselmeyer can go into clearly evil, because we did call it. And I'm gonna change Just Ugly. I'm gonna change this to... not a mascot. And that's where we'll put Zasha. Wow. 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 That was so epic. With his own blood. Thank you for spoiling. That has only made me want to watch Princess Tutu more. Wowie wow willikers. That's crazy. That's awesome. Wow. Wow. I'm blown away. I'm truly blown away. What a I can't handle that. We gotta move on. I think I've talked about Yuki enough. I really like him. I think Yuki can go right on up here with the others. Perfect and trustworthy. I like their eyes. What do we have left? Not too much. Not too much. Let's get rid of these two and bring in... Nope, that's Karo. Nope. Okay, this thing's got a name too. Hang on. Masha. Masha is Tokyo Mew Mew's little mascot. And I don't know if all the girls have their own mascots or what. But you know, I googled it and I got this one, so that this is what we get. And yeah, I like that the ears, cause okay, so this is just this is a fuzzball. This is, oh my god, this is a Karibo from Yu-Gi-Oh! This is one of those, because you know sometimes they'll have a card and then like a spin-off of that card. You know, like Dark Magician and then Dark Magician Girl. This looks like a Karibo and then Karibet kind of a deal. Yeah, one of those fuzzball keychains. Yeah, from what I remember, this is the only mascot. Well, nice. I do like that the giant goofy ears, like, it gives it the same silhouette as Ichigo, which makes it really easy to like, that's Tokyo Mew Mew's, you know? Which is nice. I thought it was Woobat for a minute. I could see that. Though, I guess the MC can turn into a cat, so I guess that could count. I'm gonna say that wouldn't count, because it's like, you know, Sailor Moon can turn into, like a nurse. That doesn't, you know, suddenly... It's just a transformation. I could be wrong, but I think he's a robot. Don't hold me to that. Yeah, that blows me away. 90s anime were so... They were like, here's anything. It's a robot. And anime these days make sure, you know, robot characters always have like a and when they move, and they got like a metallic voice to them. They're designed like Professor Turo in Pokemon. Despite the goofiness and over-the-top antics, Princess Tutu actually has some pretty dark stuff going on. It's one of my favorite magical girl shows next to Madoka. Yeah, it makes sense. It's since, you know, it clearly takes a lot of inspiration from ballet, and that kind of dichotomy is very present in ballets as well. So I shouldn't be surprised that it gets pretty in there, but I am, but pleasantly. She isn't suddenly qualified to find your veins for injections. It is just a costume, but a transformation is not a mascot. This thing is so boring, in a way. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what about it. Like, it technically does everything right, but the moment I look away from it, my brain stops registering that it exists. I retain no information about this thing. It's almost too simple. You know, kinda... too simple without any features that give it enough. You know, Karo has his winglings and a pretty distinct little shape. And then Fav, even, despite just being, you know, a circle, the dual color palette does make Fav a lot more memorable. But, fuck, I can't even remember its name. Masha. Masha's just a doodle. You doodle this on the edge of your notes, while you're in class. And it's just boring. Would I accept a keychain of Masha? Fuck yes. Does that mean I like Masha? Yeah, you know, Masha, I don't dislike Masha. Masha's just boring. I think having cute little hands or a mouth could help a lot. Does Critter count as a magical girl mascot? I don't think so. I think Critter's just a critter. But you'd have to ask her. She would have the, all the knowledge. I guess maybe, since she's the one that initiated Magical Girl May. In a way, she, like, that it's like a mascot turning girls into a magical girl. And it's Allison and I. Good question. Ballets are dark? Yeah! People die in ballets all the time. It's dramatic and serious. There are whole plots. You just gotta actually pay attention to the dancing. Next anime for her then. Yeah. I really do look like a fuzzy balloon. This is too boring. I can't even stay focused on it. Would we count Baby Cube as a separate mascot? I suppose. There's a handful of different incubators. So like there's Baby Cube, there's the one from Magia Record, you know, and then there's the, which is Baby Cube. There's the one from Excedra, but at the end of the day, those are just, how do we do Cube again? So I think we'll just count our one Cube for today. Sorry, hang on, I'm filing my nail. Is that good ASMR? Do y'all like that? Hang on, do you like? Was that good? Do people who like ASMR like that? Let's move on. Let's move on from boring old Masha and the ones that prompted me to make this in the first place, Mepple and Mipple. I don't know which one is which. It doesn't really matter. I am referring to their collective, and the reason why they both get to play in the same realm where I opted to not include Artemis. Like technically I should only have the yellow one. I think the yellow one belonged to Precure Pink, whatever her name was. I don't know, the sporty one, the protagonist. But them being a duo right from the, like, straight from the rip makes it feel like both of these mascots are just as necessary, you know? Yeah, so it's versus, you know, Sailor Moon and Sailor V, which becomes Sailor Venus, like, start adventuring at the same time, but not together. Versus, the Precures, like, they become magical girls together. They fight together. They do the big move together. And that's why it felt important to have both Mepple and Mipple. And also, really, it's just, you know, it's just like how Artemis would go in the same tier as Luna. They go together. It's why I've only got the one picture of both of them. With Magical Girl Sight, they have the administrators. They're probably the closest thing to mascots for them. Oh, so yeah, I tried looking at Magical Girl Sight, and I saw the administrators. Like, I was like, that sounds like, that might be a mascot. And then I saw them, and I was like, no. So, as always, Magical Girl Sight is omitted for the reason of being bad. They're so cute, but apparently are annoying, according to Critter in her video. It is true. Critter does say that. So, I don't know anything about their voices. They are cute, though. I trust Critter. If Critter says they're annoying, I would probably agree with her. But, oh my god, look at how cute they are. I kind of hate Mepple's color palette, the yellow one. I don't like the yellow and blue. But then Mipple has also stupid names. I hate the names. But then the pink one is pink and red. Like, the pink one just looks better. But I do want toys of them. I want Critter to have one, and for me to have the other. And then we can have cute little plushes of the two, and we can be like the magical girls. Strawberry and banana. Perfect response. Just no. I wish the yellow one was blue to contrast the pink one. I wish the yellow one... I wish the blue accents were orange rather than blue. And, you know, since we've learned by drawing 15 magical girls over the course of the month, blue and yellow are incredibly common colors to also see on pink magical girls. So, it's not like they look bad, but... yeah, I don't know. I just think the pink one is a little bit more cohesive, but they're perfect. I kind of like them. Are they going into the perfect tier though? No, because they are annoying. Not a magical girl mascot, but I just want to bring people's attention to Omelette from Fighting Foodons. Oh my god, Fighting Foodons! Hell yeah, I liked the hot dog! I shipped the hot dog with the bubblegum witch! Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Fighting Foodons. Shout out to the one other person in chat who knows what the fuck that is. The admins are creepy. I don't blame you for deleting them from this. I'm gonna put Mepple and Mipple into cute. Because they are. They are trustworthy. You know, like, I trust them. They're from the 90s, you know? Evil magical girl mascots didn't exist back then. It makes them all a lot easier to get behind. But, being annoying is what does keep them out of perfect and trustworthy. But they are very cute and trustworthy. Yippee. Hang on, I need more water. Fucking Drosselmeyer ruins these vibes so hard. Oh yeah, and now, for the final one, which is also quite an interesting one for us to discuss today. So this is Venalita from gushing about magical girls. And so technically I could have gone with the good one. This is the mascot for the evil magical girl. Evil is in air quotes. That is the protagonist. And I only know anything about this show because Critter reviewed it. And her review was very funny, which was nice. But, so, yeah, he is the quote-unquote evil one to go with our evil magical girl protagonist. And I could have gone with the one that is siding with the actual good magical girls that are fighting against the evil one, who is our protagonist. You'll notice I don't know anyone's names, because I don't really care about gushing about magical girls. But I thought it was more accurate to grab him. Because, so while she's the evil one, and these are all in quotes, like, she is still our protagonist. And so it's tough, because this guy's clearly designed to look kind of evil. Like, there's a part of me that thinks, obviously, it should go into the clearly evil category. And it's not even necessarily wrong, because that's, like, the point. But even then, they're not really clearly evil. They're just making the villains for the magical girls to fight. Like, I don't think he's got, like, world domination. I think their plan is just, we make a bunch of magical girls. and mine fight yours and yours fight mine, you know? This is a look. I do like this design. And the good one, by the way, is just this exact same thing. But instead of black, it's white. And instead of yellow accents, it's pink accents. So, like, they both are doing their job really well. How do I put this one in the trash? Didn't expect you to know fighting foodons. It's become an inside joke among my friends. I love fighting foodons. What little of it I watched. I was obsessed with that hot dog. I don't remember any other foodons. But yeah. Absolutely liked it. I liked that it was real food. It was kind of the first thing that made Critter and I go, oh man, what if we tried cooking? And then our mom didn't let us. Sleeves hand gives me ghost vibes. And yeah, they do kind of have these, like, ghosty kind of deal going on. He almost looks like a bat hanging upside down, you know? Which I think is the point. I don't know, it's... Oh, the ghost symbolism makes sense. Unfortunately, even though I watched Critter's video, I don't remember, like, anything about, like, the main plot. But yeah, it's a pretty damn solid design. It's not a bad design. Very cute. How about a cute but evil tier? I don't know if he deserves to get his own tier. 'Cause, quite frankly, like, clearly evil is the goal. Like, that is what they wanted with this. and I think it rocks. I think it rocks and it rules. Oh, maybe I put it in, I don't know if I can trust you, but good. I can put him with Hoshi. That sounds good. Yeah. I don't want to remember that show. I actively try to erase it from my brain. That's fair. Man, the 4Kids dub of it was wild. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything that was on 4Kids. I don't know if I've seen the Japanese dub of things. Except for, like, I've heard... Obviously, I've heard our beloved Masako? Yeah, as Goku. And she's great. I love her. And I'm glad that I was able to recognize her in another anime. But yeah, wow, what a tier list. All done. Perfect and trustworthy. I'm glad that, oh wow, it actually tapers down. That's so satisfying. I feel like I've never had that before. It usually kind of bows out. We're usually kind of a centralized kind of arc there. But most of them are perfect and trustworthy. Or, actually, that's not true. It's the fullest tier. And then we got lots of cute ones, too. And then only 2 boring ones. Only 2 that we don't know if we can trust. 2 clearly evil guys. And then that one's not a mascot. That's a Pokemon. And you know what? I'm gonna change the name since it is just Zasha. I'm gonna change it to... that's a Pokemon. A yippee. It is very pink. And what's funny is that Luna avoided looking evil. But it's because she's got those big-ass cute eyes, huh? Working on your own magical girl story. The mascot is a cat made out of light. Neato. Yeah, I clearly, you know, this is fun because I feel like I've learned a lot about magical girls this May. And, like, I've never put too much thought into the mascots before. But, I think this is a fun way to learn, I don't know, learn how to approach mascots, in a way. I'm excited to try to make some. I assumed, oh, you're not replying to me? So I will not. Oh wait, what's this? I assumed you were talking about gushing over magical girls for a sec, and it reminded me of that one video called "If Kill la Kill" was dubbed by 4 kids, and they edited a hot dog outfit for Ryoko. I see. That sounds great. I love when fans. Sometimes I'll do stuff like that. Like if I'm trying to sleep, I like to categorize things. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna change it to "That's a yokai watch." Yokai watch? Is it watch like that? Is that how that show is called? Hang on, let me Google yokai watch really quick. More Grim Magic? Obviously, I'm working on Grim Magic. My plan for Grim Magic is finish book 2. I am currently in book 2, working on chapter 2 of book 2 right now. Patrons are gonna get an update for that at the end of this month, actually. And hang on, let me Google yokai watch so I know how to spell it. Okay, yeah, I did. And then book 3 is going to be a special book, and then book 4 is my plan to be the last book of Grim Magic. And every book is 5 chapters, and so there you go. That's you're stuck with Grim Magic for that long of a time. Yippee. Oh, but yeah, I like to categorize things when I'm trying to sleep, and it'll be things like, okay, what if I list, you know, 1 Pokemon for every letter of the alphabet? So like A, Alakazam, B, Beedrill, etc. And one of the things I try to think of is, okay, what if 4 kids dubbed Project Sekai? And so what, you know, westernified version of their names would they all get? And it's the duality of wanting it to sound kind of like their Japanese name, you know, like Honami can easily go with Hannah, kind of a deal. But also it's like, oh, but you want to match the lip flaps, and then I think too much about it, and then I fall asleep. I love magical mascots that are unexpected animals, like an axolotl. Definitely spelled that wrong. I think you did, but I knew it. I knew what you were saying. Only other magical girl mascot I can think of is the bunny from, oh, Winx Club. I didn't even think about Winx Club. And I think it is because it's a Western cartoon that I didn't even consider it. I guess technically the Powerpuff Girls could have joined in with Professor Plutonium being their mascot on a technicality. And Panty and Stocking, that's what they're called. So, but I don't know what their mascot would be. But yeah, what a fun little stream. Yippee. A whole man as a mascot? Heaven forbid. So yeah. Wahoo! Thanks for being here. Thanks for learning what makes for a good mascot. And what makes for a good mascot, be cute and funny, and don't have real eyes. Have the eyes be dots or circles. Or permanently closed. But don't make them look too evil as well. Listen, art has no one answer. But my answer is, I want a Caraberos toy, and nothing will stop me from getting a I want a toy of Caraberos, I want a toy of Gyuki, of fucking Mokina, of Mipple and Mepple, and that's it. And if I want a toy of one, then that means it's good. Yo, Twins, one thing, Toby says Deltarune in 1 week on Blue Sky at least. Coral Palette, you seem to have missed the trailer. So, yeah, Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 drop the same day as the Nintendo Switch 2. It was in the big Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Direct that we got. So yeah, it will be available on the Switch 2 as well as all the other platforms that it's currently on. I rushed here. It's alright. But yeah, it is coming around the bend. So yippee, yippee, hooray, hooray, yaha. I'm excited for Deltarune. And in fact, I'm gonna stop streaming so I can go back to watching a video about Deltarune. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Make smart choices. And thanks for Magical Girl May. You know, I put a lot of effort into Magical Girl May. And so, thanks for at least being here for all the streams and stuff. And if you're stuck and you're like, oh man, what do I do with the rest of my evening? Hey, I've got a 3-hour-long video becoming a magical girl in Pokemon Violet that you could absolutely watch again. So yeah, I'll see you on the flip side. Make smart choices, and there will be one more stream next Monday before my vacation. So, look forward to that. And that'll be a really long one. So, jazz hands. Yay! So yeah, goodbye. I'm leaving. Adios. Make smart choices. Drink your water. Eat your vegetables.